Lindsay, I do want to recalibrate what the expectations and the goals should have been out of the draft. Now, look, we talked about this. It was a 50-50 shot they were going to end up with the number 5 pick. And that was the way it went down. Nothing you can do about it.
Man.
That's how it shook out.
It's rigged.
But we won it a couple years ago, too, though.
I don't know. I felt good saying rigged because everybody else says it.
Okay, cool. All right, bring them home. Anyway, but I read this on the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Make sure to subscribe to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. Jump into that chat thread. Get your thoughts out there. It's how we interact. We'll try to take calls again next Wednesday, see how that goes. But get your thoughts out there, and make sure you subscribe to the Big D Energy podcast. But I read this one from Brandon that says, oh, yeah. What should you do after you subscribe?
5-star.
5-star review it, if you will. Just talk about Sam Flannel's Kid Cudi shirt if you want. But Brandon said this one. Detroit needed a wing who can shoot and defend multiple positions. Thompson isn't a shooter. Brandon, we need to wrap our head around this. And I'm not, like, singling you out. And I see that this is the way that the thought process has worked. And the second that lottery ball fell out where the Pistons were picking number 5, Lindsay, internally with me, I instantly reshaped what the goals were. To when you have the number 5 pick, we can take the Giannis examples and we can take the Joker examples, the unicorn stuff, the 1 in a million stuff. And if you want to like hang your hopes on that, you be my guest. Go right ahead and do whatever you want to do. For me, Lindsay, I looked around what's happened in the league the last couple years, and I see the KCP types and the Andrew Wiggin types and the 3-and-D guys that can score a little bit. That was more along the lines of what my goal was. Now, Ausar Thompson, obviously, Brandon, he's not a shooter, not a big-time scorer and stuff like that. But Brandon, if he were, he would have been picked at number 2. You see what I'm saying? Lindsay, where's the disconnect here? Because if there was a guy out there like that, i.e. a Brandon Miller type, they would have been the number 2 pick in the draft. Once you get down to 5, Lindsay, that total package is not out there for you on paper at the moment.
Well, and because of the way the draft was kind of structured because of the guys that were in it, we knew the top 3 guys. Like, how long have we been knowing the top 3 guys? All year, right?
Since October, yeah.
Now, after the top 3 guys, it was all over the place. And it ended up being all over the place. Like, guys that we thought were slotted at, 4, 5, it changed. What's the kid? The kid from Villanova dropped.
Yeah, Cam Whitmore.
He dropped. Everybody had him slated as a top 5 pick.
Right.
So everything changed, but I kind of give that, how I look at it is, we don't have the college kids in here anymore, so we don't have that. You tend to have a relationship with college kids because we get to see them in the dance,
right?
And so you kind of have a connection with them. A lot of these guys we don't have that connection with because they played in overtime elite or the G League, and college fans are not watching the G League. They just don't. So that kind of disconnects the draft with a lot of us. Of course, we watch some of these guys because we hear about their names and stuff like that. But it kind of the draft just changed. It totally changed this year, and I think a lot of people you saw drafting was best available. Like, they wanted the best available player, and it was a lot of that being drafted this year.
Dan Wood in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread says El Mago is back. Yes, I was told El Mago is back. Pistons fan 11, the Pistons were a horrible defensive team, and they just got a guy that can defend multiple positions. And, Lindsay, I want to pick it up right there. And this is where I want to get a little geeky, I guess, with you. With the Ausar Thompson, 6'7". What I do like about him is in this day and age, we hear this, right? I've been talking about this for 5 or 6 years. Basketball is moving towards the positionless. It's positionless now, right? You got centers that are point guards. You got wings that can defend 1 through 5. Thompson is more of that. You are what you can guard. in this league. I've heard a lot of NBA scouts that are buddies of mine that when we look at a guy, what can he guard? Because everyone can score. You know, all the good players can score in this league. If you're good, you can score. Thompson, for me, what I like is, and you can die on that hill of not a shooter. Okay, he is still very capable, especially, and here's where I think it fits with what the Pistons have, where the backcourt seems like it's pretty set with Cade and Ivy.
Right.
When you have Duren, now you have Ausar Thompson. Thompson switchable 1 through 4 defensively. Can he make an impact defensively, Lindsay, on this team? I'm going to say immediately because he's so young. But I think overall, when we're at the end of this season for the Pistons, will those defensive numbers look better because of what Thompson can provide? Not going to be 10 points per game better or anything like that. But will there be improvements because he is kind of a Swiss Army knife defensively?
Well, I think I kind of look at it a little different. I think there'll be improvements regardless of personnel. There'll be improvements defensively because of Monty, because he's going to bring a structured defensive system in.
Damn it, Lindsay! I was going to make that point number 2. No, but go ahead.
Yeah. So Monty's going to have a system in place that there will be no guessing of what our defensive principles are. You will know. You have a definitive understanding of how we guard side pick and roll, how we guard middle pick and roll, how we guard pin downs, how we guard post ups, how we guard isolations. So guys will know exactly what their job is. There'll be no guessing. So that'll take a lot of the unsureness and the lack thereof execution defensively out of the equation. Now, when you start plugging guys like Ausar in there that can defend multiple positions, then you take your defenses up another level.
And Lindsay, I'm going to step in there on this because here's the deal with that. When it does break down, when you do have a breakdown, you have a puncher's chance now because players that can make a play defensively, like Ausar Thompson, I think in 3 years can be one of those guys where, and we'll see this with Duren with his rim protection to some degree. When you have a breakdown, do you get away with it? And I think when you put Duren in there, when you put Thompson in there defensively, you have a chance to get away with a mistake.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You got a guy like Duren and some of the length that we have, you can pressure more, you can gamble, because you know if I get beat, I got a stud back there that's erasing everything. And that makes a big difference. And a lot of times it doesn't show up as a block, but it's a deterrent.
It's an alter,
yeah,
yes.
Exactly.
Alters a shot.
Exactly. That matters, especially in this league where offensively guys are so talented. You know, you're not asking a guy to stay in front of a talented guy for more than 5 seconds. Like 5 seconds is an eternity to be on an island.
It's almost like the and people don't correlate this, and I don't understand why. It's almost like the wide receiver cornerback thing in the NFL.
Absolutely.
It's very, very similar.
Yes.
Where all you're looking to do is not how you stopping Giannis coming downhill on you.
You can't.
Yeah.
You can't.
What are you going to do with Luka coming off the ball screen?
And that's what people don't understand, Neil. You're not stopping these guys. You want to make it difficult. You want to make.
You're telling me there's a chance.
You're right.
You want to make great scores score in a different way. Like, okay, we know Giannis is coming strong right. Let's force him left and see if we can, make him make decisions going left. Or KD, can we not let him get to his sweet spot? Because if he gets there, it's a bucket. You're not stopping those guys. You just want to make it difficult.
And that's the goal. I think Thompson provides a lot. It's just I think we need to get past this ideology of he was a number 5 pick, so he's got to be a perennial all-star and a Hall of Fame guy.
Yeah, that's going to be difficult because as fans, when they see guys get drafted that high, what are they thinking? Oh, he's going to be this type of difference maker, or he has to be a 20-point-a-night guy. But if you watch some of the guys that he kind of resembles, Mikal Bridges from Phoenix, that's been traded to Brooklyn, they're building their team around this kid now because when he first got drafted, he was a great defender. You know, he rangy, long, just like Ausar, but he got better every year. He got better to the point where he can drop 40, 50 now. You know, so
right.
If you can get a guy like this and he can develop and get better with no pressure on him as being the guy, then he'll be fine.